Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about the opinions of the analysts. And some analysts have said that the iPhone promotion from AT&T is the most aggressive promotion they've ever seen from iPhones from any carrier ever, and that may scream desperation time for AT&T. And I think there's several different ways of looking at this. So we all know AT&T is very aggressive because they want to compete in a very big way. And we all know the wireless side is their core business. It's where they make the most money, right? So yes and no, I would say, in my opinion. So AT&T still needs more mid-band to be more competitive on 5G. We know they had the most spectrum during the LTE era other than Sprint. But now that Verizon has heavily been competing in CBRS, and we know they're bringing the money backs to the C-band auction, it kind of puts AT&T in an awkward position. T-Mobile already has the most spectrum now because of the Sprint acquisition. So now people are asking me and are wondering, some people I had email me that are investors in AT&T are wondering, how is AT&T going to fare in the 5G space if they have a huge debt load and not necessarily positive cash flow on hand? Well, this is where the additional businesses come into play that are not core based for AT&T. They're going to sell them off. And we already see what they're doing with DirecTV. 25 to 30% are being sold off. Earlier today, there was a report that another facility will be sold off somewhere in New York. I will leave that article in the description down below as well. It was reported from Fierce Wireless. So as I told you guys in another video, AT&T is nowhere near done with restructuring the businesses to cost. They're getting ready to sell off a bunch of other non-core businesses. So it's just very interesting in terms of how AT&T is handling this situation. So in fact, it may signal desperation. They need positive cash flow on hand because they now need to fully compete in the next C-band auction. And you may ask, well, why wasn't this planned anyway? Why wasn't this a part of the plan from the beginning? Well, recently there was spectrum that AT&T would have had via the first responders in the 4.9 gigahertz, but that now was voted by the FCC that is accessible by other businesses as well. So the first responders no longer have access to that higher band spectrum in the 4.9 gigahertz. So now it seems that AT&T is scrambling last minute to gather up positive cash flow to bid big in the C-band auction. As most of you know, they did not get any CBRS. Apparently, as I'm told, they did bid in the CBRS auction, but they didn't outbid anybody. So they got nothing. But in the C-band auction, it is very important in December for them to bid a huge amount of money to get at least 100 megahertz of C-band that they can dedicate towards 5G. Because right now, AT&T is not making any big plays in terms of their 5G strategy. It's kind of an in-between for AT&T. They're not fully committed to millimeter wave because they have other business segments that need their attention. They got FirstNet, so they got to expand the coverage. They now got the military bases on board. That's another 72 installation that need new infrastructure. So, and they don't have enough mid-band spectrum on LTE to go around. So they'll likely have to repurpose via DSS that spectrum as well to be used on 5G and LTE. So they also don't have enough spectrum on hand to totally dedicate to 5G, as Verizon is in that same position. At least with Verizon, we knew from the jump that their strategy was to bid on C-band, and they got CBRS. So they're taking care of their spectrum position that was weak. In the LTE era, other than them building like crazy, building cell sites and small cells, that was their strategy. But now they're fixing their spectrum position, which was weaker compared to the competition. So we know they made the right plays to be able to spend big on the C-band auction, which is totally justifiable because investors know that they need that spectrum to pursue further growth and, of course, make the 5G network the best that it can be and the best in the world. That's what Verizon is shooting for. That is not really a message that AT&T has set off yet. AT&T is kind of like, okay, we're doing a little bit of millimeter wave, we're doing DSS, we're still expanding the network. That's kind of the message that I'm getting from AT&T. So they're still doing a little bit of everything, but they really have no focus on just, one thing. They're doing plenty other things, except like Verizon right now, they have just literally been focusing on millimeter wave while they wait for the auction to take place in December. So they'll be ahead. Verizon will be ahead on millimeter wave in terms of it being on air, tweaking it, optimizing it, having the infrastructure up. They'll be ahead on that part, ahead of AT&T and ahead of T-Mobile. So again, does this scream desperation? I'll leave that up to you guys. I'll leave that up to you guys to let me know in the comment section down below if you guys think this signals desperation. The promotion of the iPhone, I don't see why not. They're giving it to new and existing customers for AT&T. I think that helps them convert more customers over to newer devices, period, whether it be 5G or not. But I think they're trying to make it appealing to get people out of iPhone 6, 6S, 7s, and 8s and get them into newer phones. I think that's why they're doing it. Right now, you just need, I think, a value of $95 on a device to be able to trade it in to get the full max of the promotion that AT&T is offering for the iPhones. So if you are in the market for a new phone, you are on another provider, you want an aggressive promotion, AT&T is the way to go. If you are a current customer with AT&T, you have an older iPhone that's paid off and it at least qualifies for $95 in value, you get a huge promotional offer to get into a new iPhone. So I just think this is AT&T on a positive note. I think this is AT&T being very proactive on getting customers into newer devices. I wanted them to be this proactive years ago, but now they're being really proactive on this. I do think their weakness right now into the 5G is the mid-band. I know that sounds bad because they won in that department on the LTE, but to fully dedicate that spectrum to 5G is not feasible because there's still so many users that use LTE that you just can't carve that out of the LTE because the performance is going to significantly drop. So again, I just wanted to make this video for you guys. I just wanted to see what you guys think. Is this desperation? Or is this just AT&T being really aggressive, really competitive, and really proactive? Finally, as a company that we've all been waiting for, we've been waiting for the change in the leadership. Everybody's in agreement that they needed somebody younger, newer, just a fresh of new air throughout the entire leadership. Well, now little by little, it seems like it's starting to change. They're the very first time I've ever seen it, but they're bashing the other carriers now. They're tweeting to the other carriers. They did it earlier to T-Mobile. They're calling out Verizon. Welcome to the party. So they're doing their part on that front. I do think yesterday was big for Verizon. I got to give them that. That was a huge play being on the Apple stage. That video is closer to 30 million views now. So that was a huge play by Verizon. But I think AT&T is trying to catch on, trying to keep up, and they're trying to get ahead in terms of mix and match, these promo deals. Now we know they're aggressively trying to sell off parts of the business to be able to compete in the C-band auction very competitively. So again, let me know in the comment section down below if you think this is desperation. I look forward to reading the comments. If you have been on the channel, you can go ahead and end the video now. If you are new, you like these updates, you like to interact with the community, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload the content. Once you hit the notification bell, make sure you select all so you get all the content. Also follow my Twitter for more interaction and tweets. I do put the videos on the Twitter as well, so you guys have 2 platforms to get push notifications. Thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.